Jason Gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, leaves you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, dope a rap, tight and set, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's the OG Boricua Don Dada. I'm here with Mr. Rob K, Urban Wrestling Network, MLW Confusion. This has nothing to do with MLW, so listen, I seen it right before going on. We were talking about what the hell are we going to talk about. Randomly going on Twitter, I see that Tony Khan is sitting down with Shane McMahon, Shane O'Mac, and people are actually like, oh shit, is this gonna fucking happen? So I know you know wrestling better than I do. I'm gonna ask you and then I'll piggyback.
This has been obviously a surprise because the seeds of this was planted a couple of months ago. That there'd been something come out in the rumor mill that Shane McMahon had basically put in kind of like feelers out about joining AEW. Tony Khan denied all of it, but said playing PC about it, just I wouldn't be opposed to it, but we're not doing anything right now. And then I guess this picture that is popping up today was taken Monday, allegedly, in a private suite in an airport. So it was kind of an faux impromptu in terms of its location. But yeah, crazy go nuts. Who knows what this will be? The internet is, of course, ablaze about it with its various possibilities, and of course, the tribal warfare is going to come out there. Is out there already with Shane O'Mac's no good, and oh yes, Shane O'Mac will be the savior of AEW when we don't even know what capacity Shane O'Mac will even be in. Because let's face it, even before we talk about potential roles for Shane O'Mac, AEW has not been above only bringing in a person for one appearance. This is even speculating that they're talking about bringing Shane O'Mac in. This could have been just a weird little executive phone call kind of thing. I don't know what Shane's up to now that he's left the WWE for the third time. I guess I could go look, but that's how little I actually care about Shane McMahon. But the speculation is wild upon this. But if we're going to look at him as some sort of talent within AEW has not been opposed to bringing in people for one shots just to kind of do it. They did it during even going so far back as with the Dark Order, with who was the exalted one of the Dark Order. They even brought in guys who functionally speaking wouldn't have been a bad choice in the form of Raven, for example. They brought him in and just had him sitting in the crowd and didn't do anything. They brought Eric Bischoff in to moderate a debate between Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy, and then we never saw Bischoff again. So who knows what we're really looking at in the form of this meeting. But everyone wants to just throw out there that it's either A, on-screen talent, or B, behind the scenes role, which I guess that's about the extent of what you can do in the wrestling industry.
Yeah, no, I like what you said, because I went into this the last time, it was an angle where, Shane McMahon buys WCW and he's going to try to make it go against his dad and all that shit. But when you said, look, they're not opposed to bringing people off for a one-off, and we all know Tony Khan loves a buzz. He wants people to talk about AEW, and what better way to talk about AEW than have people actually going like us, what the fuck is going on? Shane McMahon, AEW, is he going to turn his back on the WWE brand? What's going to happen? Look, nobody knows. This, like I said, this could just be one of those, like you said, let's take a quick picture real quick. We'll get the internet buzzing. Yeah, sure, cool, whatever. I got nothing to do with WWE. Cool, yeah, let's do it. If I want to just take a quick jab at them, I'll take a quick jab. But Shane McMahon, I think, would be too important for AEW if they were going to bring him in, to not have him on camera some way. That would be the weirdest thing to say. I love what your ideas are, but let's just keep you behind the scenes,
Yeah, honestly, from what I've seen of Shane, especially the last decade, and the things that come through the grapevine, really Shane's best work is in front of the camera. Unless you're going to make him unless you have him off creative, like an actual real executive. Like his best work is going to be in front of the camera. And I'm not even I don't mean his last WWE run where he was the best in the world and like going toe to toe with everyone. Dude's like 56 years old and gets gassed walking to the ring. Like that dude shouldn't be beating anybody. Like that's like saying let me come in there and be a world beater. Like no. You know, but he can talk. He can get folks talking. So like the buzz he would bring in, like as an on-stream, I'm really hoping more for like fantasy booking at this point. As a manager, I think he'd be invaluable. Like I don't want to see any more like heel authority figures because that's just so played out and stupid anymore. But like as a manager, like I think he could be invaluable just because he could talk. And let's face it, there's a lot of guys in AEW who don't talk well. Like that is a thing that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's weighing them down because AEW is a bit more ring focused than promo focused, but they also they like to go to the New Japan style and have these large stables with a bunch of guys. But like, or like he could do that, or let's face it, with the whole storyline involving the Young Bucks right now, what better way to be EVP douchebags than bringing in Shane O'Mac? And this is not an original idea. I've seen other people throw this out there too. But
well, fuck them because we don't care what they think. This is what we talk here.
But like, but realistically speaking, if you want to come out as some sort of weird corporate douchebag, bringing in a heel Shane O'Mac is not necessarily a bad idea to add to your elite stable.
So I really like that idea, but I kind of like the manager idea better. So I'm going to ask you, if you had to pick one guy, and this is where we'll leave this craziness off. If you had to pick one guy for Shane McMahon to represent and take them to another level, who would that one guy be in AEW?
Just one guy. That's actually a really tough question because they have a lot of talents in there that I think that like could really use that boost.
Like it obviously doesn't have to be MJF.
Right.
Aaron would be fucking hilarious, but
yeah. Oh, and that's the second one people have been talking about too. Is his whole whatever it is he's doing now. Shane O'Mac would add to that, but like I would definitely bring him. Like I would have him like in its truest form. Like unless I'm going strictly storyline, but in terms of like trying to elevate talent by being around him. I don't know how. Like I would have to brainstorm this a bit because you put me on the spot and I didn't think this through. But the whatever the trio is of Top Flight and Action Andretti, I think would be interesting because like those guys have shown they can go. I mean, yes, the injury bug has been kind of bad.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons why they haven't popped up a bit. And or giving Danny Garcia something else to do too. But I don't know if I want to face Shane McMahon dealing with Danny Garcia. Well, I guess I don't think I want to see face Shane McMahon as a manager right now. And Danny Garcia is firmly entrenched as a face in the moment with whatever he's doing with MJF if he's coming back. So like those are like four guys. Like I'm lumping Top Flight plus Action Andretti into one because they are almost exclusively wrestling as a unit right now. But I think, like we'll call it like a young gun. To honor Muffins, like a young gun horseman in there. Okay. So we got our four guys, and then we got Shane O'Mac to help elevate him. Again, like you have to give me another like half hour to maybe come up with a storyline for that to make sense. But like just on the spot, like I think that would be kind of fun.
I like the Danny Garcia idea because I was going to say something, and when you said it, I was like,
something. He just needs some little push to get him there. He is so close, but luckily he's really young too, so he's got the time to figure it out. But
when you said it, like I didn't think about it. Like I put Brian Cage in my head, and I'm like, oh, Brian Cage has the charisma of a fucking nut. So this would be really good for him because anything Brian Cage says, I really don't give a shit about. And if you stuck him, it would kind of be I'm not saying like a Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman kind of thing, but he could take that role of being that big destroyer kind of guy. And I think Shane McMahon can actually make him interesting. But the Danny Garcia thing, I think, is more of a home run because to me, it just makes way more sense. That's what Rob's here for. Rob's here to talk fucking sense into us because it's what he does. You know, I mean, the fuck. So we talked Tony Khan, Shane McMahon, 4 out of 1. I said, give me 1. He gives me a list. I'm cool with that.
We'll call it 2. They were 2. We'll call them 2 because Tom Flay and Action Andretti is just a unit.
There you go. So I like everything. Last thing. CEO has brought in Camille, right? Now, we're talking AEW. I got to jump on that.
Yeah, might as well, because we did talk Camille in the past.
Yeah, exactly. To me, this feels very $1 Million Man Virgil shit, except Camille is not a fucking Virgil. She can wrestle her ass off. But it just felt like when she's like, I'm the CEO, I got mad money, and I bring this bitch in. And I'm like, yo, she made her look so irrelevant. Like, she's just there. Like, just sit in the background, don't say shit. I don't know. I thought this was a complete flop after her not being on wrestling for 6-7 months.
I mean, I don't think it's a horrible role for her. But I'm going to do this is that and this will catch me some flack from a lot of the stands out there, but I don't think Mercedes Moné is really capable of elevating other people.
No.
If she does, it's quasi accidental by having like a decent match or a match that somehow defied expectations, which I don't know how that happens because she's at Will Ospreay levels of having the greatest matches ever whenever she just steps into the ring. But actually, no, I actually don't mind the idea because someone like, especially heel Mercedes, needs someone like almost needs a bodyguard. But like, I don't think the $1 Million Man kind of outside of like the money kind of like gimmick. I don't think the $1 Million Man and Virgil's apropos. I'm looking more along the lines of the two dudes with attitude, Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Because and just because of the physical differences too. Whereas like Virgil was buff. Don't get me wrong, he was pretty chiseled, but he wasn't a big dude. Like DiBiase was kind of bigger than Virgil, so you almost didn't buy Virgil as a bodyguard, really, if you think about it. But like Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels, like for the longest time until Diesel kind of like figured out. Like learn from the best in terms of talking and some of that charisma stuff, which he didn't have. Like if you watch his early career, he was terrible. I mean, okay, he was all around terrible. He wasn't even good in the ring, which we can make jokes about that about his later career too, but we won't. But him and Michaels, like you were just waiting for the day that he turned on Michaels because Michaels was an utter dickbag and just abusing the guy, just using him because he's huge,
We're going to get 2.0 of that here.
Yeah, which I don't have a problem with because let's face it, I mean, wrestling borrows and steals from itself all the time anyway.
Yeah.
And regardless of my opinion on Mercedes Moné, she is over. The crowd loves her. And so when it comes to like we know like that she is going to push Camille to her emotional limits, just being an utter dickbag, and there's going to be that will be the time that Camille will snap and allow Moné to do one of the things she does do rather well, actually, in my opinion, selling and looking like she's been killed. So you have Camille, who she's called Camille Brick for a reason because she's built like a brick wall, and when she finally has enough and does slams Moné to the ground, like Moné will look like she's dead and Camille will be that much over for doing it.
See, now everything you said, once again, I'm gonna co-sign with. I'm gonna say, yeah, absolutely. It's no hate towards Sasha Banks, right? So just because I think she's average at best on a mic, average at best in a ring, and average at best all around, right? Like to me, she's whack. But
yeah, I'm not a fan either.
Yeah, that does not mean that she's not stupid over, right? Like she's killing it. She's doing what she does. I'm just saying what I feel, and that I don't have to be right for somebody else. It's right for me because I don't like her work. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I'll co-sign on that one. So
yeah, so I can't wait for the day Camille turns on her and absolutely beats the shit out of her, and then we get a title match, or hopefully for a title match, and Camille, actually gets her rise again, because of right now there was really no real big pop neither. Kind of like what we said, she's been out of sight, out of mind so long. It was kind of like, yeah, all right, cool.
And she's not a Jacob Fatu that's just going to like full just randomly throw out like a double moonsault for no good reason to be like blow everyone's mind. Like she is a meat and potatoes kind of worker.
Yeah, so it's going to take time for her to reestablish herself. She'll have that opportunity. Salute to her and everyone in AEW, because I think that if they do this right, it could be very, very good storytelling going down the line. So Britt Baker and all these other girls, salute. Y'all got another problem on your hands, and that's nothing but good when you got that many problems. For myself, this man, we got one more for you. We out of here. Deuces.